Alright everyone, I'm going to do a playlist about disabilities and the education on it. So if you need support in it, want to hear a story about it, a lot of them will be funny. I'll try and add some of my awkward humor. I do have ADHD, I'll admit it, I have my own. And I have people I look up to. So, for instance, I could be at McDonald's, and people could look at me like I'm a little kid, but you know what? I don't care. Because I'm having a good time, and that's all that matters. I don't need to be fixed because I have a good time in a whole new different way. Hey, as long as I'm doing that, and that is my key to social situations, not flirting with people until I get in bed with them or something stupid. I mean, I feel like there's more to life. And it's because I've kind of cherished the people I have with friends. For friends. And if you think about it, ADHD makes you highly tolerant to annoying shit that people don't like. So you got all those people out there who you can understand, but you can still get along with the other people. I've had loads of people. I mean, I don't get irritated, and I just be patient. I just use that ability, and I build on that. It doesn't need to be fixed. I just make the best of it. And just so I'm sitting there, and I hang out with complete assholes. As long as they're all assholes, no one has a problem. I might not be an asshole, but I can sure as hell compensate for that. If you know what I mean, I have a crude sense of humor, and I can be a dick back if you're a dick to me. So around assholes, I can fit in. Around jerks, I can fit in. As long as you don't fuck up, meaning the other person. And I become pretty cool over time. I use my Asperger's, the high functioning sorts, to get really smart really fast. For instance, some disabilities make you learn off of videos. There's all kinds of shit you can learn and never practice. I mean, I bet you I could use size, and I'm dying to try, and I'm dying to try commas and karate weapons. I had never laid a hand on a karate weapon, and I was not even a belt yet. And I knew forms through the brown belt series. They put me a no belter in a division that required you to be higher than brown belt. In Florida, it didn't really matter because you could buy what you want in Florida. You can buy brass knuckles and be 12 years old and stuff. Florida doesn't really care. So I grew up in Florida. So of course they're going to let me have a bow staff. And I was good enough to be in, and they said, you know what, you can have the bow staff because we had still yet to buy it. And you're like, you know, you can have the bow staff, you can have free classes, you can have paid whatever, but you perform in front of class. And it was like the teachers did that. The people were really good. That's what made that school, out of all 5 of Von Schmelling's schools, very, very fun. And there were always new instructors, and it bothered me because I liked the first one. I don't like change, and I never have. You get past that stuck point, and you get past the barriers, and it's fun. So, I mean, I just, and I was smart, and I stopped and thought about shit. And, you know what? Glass, floor to practice on. Makes sense. Put common sense together before you do shit. And at a young age, you look like a genius. Well, I'd already looked up how to use the thing. So, well, is it okay if he does this? Well, he bought the weapon. Okay. So they set me on the floor, and I did freestyle, and apparently I'd cover every move 3 times what I should have done in every form, and then done ones that weren't even in forms, even the advanced forms, like the running jump kick, bow staff, thrust, running jump side kick, and the funny thing is they're like, that was amazing. I'm like, no, I didn't need to run. Running's for the speed. I mean, I could just jump, and I did it. And he's just like, wow, I've never seen someone jump on the spot and do a side kick. I'm like, yeah, well, I learned from YouTube, how to jump that high and bring your feet up and not bring your body down. And he's like, wait, how did you learn this? It's called, they called it a karate. They called it like the ultimate pull-up for legs. And so you jump up and you bring your feet to your hands. And I can do that, and if you want me to, I can do that on a video. And it's kind of like, boom, you learn that, and you can bring your leg up and kick, and then do the bow staff thrust. And you don't need to. And then I learned how to bring the bow staff behind me, and you know what? If I whacked my head, I kept going, and I learned eventually not to whack my head. I didn't need gear. I didn't need to go slow. If I hit myself, oh well, I'll get over it. It's not going to give me a concussion. It's a wooden stick. You know what? Don't hit yourself over and over. You'll learn by trial and error. And that's how I learned. And I looked up videos. And I had never touched a bow staff. They gave me nunchucks. My biggest mistake with nunchucks was far after I had restarted and learned it all over again. But I mean, I never forgot anything because I just got a kick out of doing it. And that was at my brother's birthday where I was doing the nunchuck, and then my arm popped like weird, and it went, and the nunchuck came up and smacks me dead in the open eye, and I'm just like sitting there, and Tom's like, you can't even see, there's water in your eyes. I'm like, that'll fix in like a minute and a half. Just delay them for a minute and a half. It's my brother and all his friends, and they're like, they wanted to see it. So what I did in the performance, and I put real life case scenarios to put teaching into it, and the kids just suck it up. And it was kind of like Thomas Norwood is my cousin. This could be my uncle, but he's my cousin. He's got a son that's, my nephew is like older than me by far. Anyway, so I went in, and this eye wouldn't open, but I could see out of this one. It wasn't my best eye either, especially on if you close this eye. This eye worked horribly, but I could see enough not to hit someone or myself, and that was good enough. So I could do it blind if I needed to, as long as I knew I wasn't going to hit anything, but I wasn't familiar with the floor yet. I put a bunch of stuff on. Mannequins in the back too. So, yeah. Well, not mannequins, but the practice dummies, and it was a half-high guy, so he didn't have the legs to practice on. It was fun as hell. And you know what? I socked myself in the eye, and it sucked. But it was fun. And I don't regret doing it. Pain, if you learn to just suck it up and keep going, will only be a nuisance. It'll only be irritating. I'd be that one kid on the playground where everyone's like, he's psycho, and I was okay. Yeah, I was bleeding out my nose, and I had a busted lip and like black and blue eye. Let's keep going. And these kids, I didn't get much trouble with bullies because I'd fight further than they wanted to. I mean, all I needed was a bunch of effort. I didn't really need to back it up, but when I learned how, and since I learned off of videos, that came from disabilities. That was my best learning style. My first ever college class was slide based, and I aced every test. The finals, I had 100, and there were 10 questions on each test. When it came to finals, I missed 3 questions, but there were 4 extra credit questions. These, we usually spend 2 weeks, and there's 4 days, going over an entire series of slides. We went over 5 slides in 1 day. And I got 4 of those ones right. So I got like 76 out of 75 right. That's because my notes were like, and that was gradual progression into pyramids. And then Cleopatra, whatever the pharaoh's name was. But that went along with that was my notes. It was visual. As long as this was here, the photo would come up and be like, oh, I know that! Kind of like when I write a note and I leave it out and just put it somewhere and I'm like, I don't even know I need to open that note. I remember exactly what I wrote. But the fun part with me, and here's where a little bit of humor comes in, I play pranks on myself. I'd be like, and don't think anything weird, but I'll like write a note and I'll write your face or your mom. ate it, and I'll put it in like a jacket, and I always have like a ton of pockets and a lot of them. So I used to stuff it in like an irritating pocket. I'd be like, after like 3 months, I'd be like, what the hell? God, I hate you. No, wait, that's me. And I just have to sit there and juggle it. And it's like, you know what? I am an ass, but I'm an ass to myself. And then while I'm writing the note, it's just like, wow, I can't believe that I do such a thing. But then again, I can. And it's funny. And they're like, who wrote that note? And you'd be like, my nickname on the back. Anyway, it's really funny. And when I'm writing the notes, it's even funnier because I can remember the last time my face looked like that, and I just what? And I can remember the expression, the feeling, and everything. Except when you play it on someone else, I know how I felt. The face didn't say it all. What was inside did. I'm just like, I'm so gonna get myself. I'm gonna say something all new and just be like, what the fuck? Wait, who? Oh my god! It'd be like something very stupid. Like once I looked up a website and I let myself forget it for half a year, and then I wrote it down on a note and I shoved it in a jacket, and when I went to that winter to put that jacket on, like crazymonkey.com. Don't forget to go on December 1st.